Hey all, Taves here, back playing some more Planet Coaster 2, and welcome to the very first episode of Pamola Park. So yes, I am doing another Taker-themed, sort of Alpine-y type build in this for this series. So this is following on from the themes that we've been using in Planet Zoo. I thought, what better way of sort of comparing the two games than to carry on using this style and this sort of design. So we are obviously in this episode going to be building the entrance building for this park, and this is going to be I think I've said in the title it's an Alpine adventure park. So it's going to have both water rides and coasters, etc. All of that good stuff. And obviously I'm finding my feet in the game. So exploring the themes, exploring the rides and stuff. We don't get a ride done in this episode, but I'm pretty happy with the way this entrance building turns out at the end. If you are someone that has watched me on Planet Zoo before, very much appreciate you coming over and checking out my Planet Coaster 2 stuff. And likewise, if you're brand new, appreciate you giving me a chance, and I hope you enjoy the stuff that I produce. So if you have seen me before, you will know that I'm someone that is very focused on detail. I'm mostly all about the builds and the backstage areas and all of that sort of stuff. And a thing that I've done multiple times before in previous builds is like create my own little build set. So what I tend to do is create my own little sort of non-gridded pieces or gridded pieces that kind of allow me to kind of create my own custom buildings. I'm sticking with the theme of it being sort of kind of rusticy and sort of unthemed, I guess, at the moment. I'm not a massive fan. It's something I'm going to have to get used to. But the sort of heavy theming that tends to come with theme parks is going to be a new thing for me to get my head around. I tend to like kind of sort of authenticity and coziness and rustic vibes. Seems to be what I've gravitated towards quite often. So it'll be interesting to see how we pull this all together in this park. So this is set in Pomola. I'm gonna get that name wrong myself quite a few times, but until I get used to it. But Pomola is in the sort of it's a mountain in the on the Appalachian Trail, I think. So we're talking sort of North America, not far from the Canadian border. So again, not actually that far from Tigwadoo, which is our zoo in Planet Zoo. So we are, it's all going to feel like it's going to be really interesting to see how the games compare. I've already got to quite an excited state trying things out in Planet Coaster. So if what you're seeing on screen doesn't really make sense to you at the moment, it's basically because I'm building myself a little set of grid pieces that I can then use to quickly start to assemble this entrance building, but then it also gives me a kind of visual identity, if you like. So quite a lot of this bit of the speed build was really me playing around, and there you can see I'm actually starting to put pieces together now. So this is often the way I start a build, is trying to get to the point where I'm like, what's the identity of this park going to look like? So all of the sort of kind of non-ride buildings and the staff buildings and the entrance buildings and all that sort of thing will follow somewhat that theme or be within that kind of palette, if that makes sense. It's also a really handy way of kind of making your own buildings slightly look different to other people's stuff. So you can see I'm not using anything like really crazy here. The roof's not custom, it's all standard pieces. Actually, really like all of the pieces that I've seen so far in Planet Coaster. I've cut out from this episode quite a lot of the me floundering around trying 10 different pieces. We've got this kind of open, this big kind of Alpine open covered area, which is going to be where most of the kind of guest flow comes through, and this is going to be where the ticket building is and all of that sort of stuff. So just playing around with some of the stonework there just to get these nice columns in. At the moment I've got them all sticking through the roof. I think at some point I decide that doesn't look great, and actually to have them underneath, because I think it's more realistic that they are underneath, so I fix that all up. But putting in the sort of the gabling and the support structures for that roof, and we get to a stage where this looks like really, I don't know what it is. This is like, don't feel that different to the pieces that are in Planet Zoo or in Planet Coaster 1, but I think it's just the extra sort of details and the textures, and some of the underside of this roof, for example, the textured detail that you get under there is really great and just really nice, because actually quite often all that stuff's hidden away, right? So to expose all that timber and not have to add all that timber in yourself is really cool. So we will be, you're going to see me now experiment with some of the brushes. So I'm not sure how much of this scenery brush stuff I'm going to do. It's really great for like filling in big areas. But I think when I placed these down, a lot of it, I didn't realise I had the align to surface option switched off. So let's go back and fix all that. You can see there's a bit of a jump there, but like you can see I've put a bunch of assembled a bunch of the pieces for the kind of main building of this entrance area. And we've got this sort of big canopied section, putting some lighting in, and I've got a bit of a path going away. I haven't done anything like the car park and things. That will all come later, and we're getting most of the major things shown in the speed build, but as ever there is going to be a little bit of a I'll give you a bit of a walking tour of this at the end. So I'd used all of those pieces. I'd assembled, built my own little build kit, as I call it. I'd gone back and then assembled this building, and then it's much easier now for me just to tweak and customize that, whilst also maintaining the theme. So when I've got like like a shop and a toilet building and things all close to this, they'll all roughly follow this style and this design, and I'll have that kit to be able to use again. So here we are. I decided actually plop that bit down, that building down. It had a door into staff area. I thought actually it would be quite cool to have like walk up windows for a sort of ticket collection. Obviously this is not stuff that the game actually really does. This is all sort of implied. But I did end up adding a couple of shops in there, or I think guest services I ended up adding in there. It would be really cool to have, I mean, I'm not going to do it now, obviously, but it would be really cool to have like a mechanic where you see people actually like getting tickets and things, rather than just going through the barriers. The barriers are exactly the same as Planet Coaster 1, and they're exactly the same as Planet Zoo, and they're a bit clunky and a bit rubbishy, to be honest. So here we are in the detail lands, which is my safe place. So we've got, as you see, I've put a bit more foliage around. I put a few signs up and things. I was thinking what else sort of goes in here, and using that statue. There's slightly weird, I think these are supposed to be like part of the sort of mythology set, the stone statue there of the guest. I think it's supposed to be sort of themed around like guests that have been turned into stone by Medusa, which is kind of cool. I quite like that idea. But she is going to be my new like scale reference piece for scale. So I thought, well, maybe you get like I don't know, like a thing that's like park strollers and things that you can have in here. So I thought I'd make my own, and playing around with some of the pieces. And again, I'm not like super familiar with the pieces yet, so you'll see I've sort of done a bit of a design and then I've changed it up quite a bit. These are like the smallest, this set of these sort of metal support pillars and things that are all part of the aquatic theme, are really great at really small details. And I've put up on the workshop actually all of the sort of smallest items I've discovered in the game, and these really scale down to a tiny size, almost to the point where you think, did they mean to make these this small? Because like you can see, those pillars are not anywhere near at their maximum, or sorry, minimum scale. So it still looks a bit clunky. It does actually get, there's one little change coming up that actually really improves this. I'm trying to put sort of a seat in. I'm trying to put a bit of a sort of, it's supposed to be like a, for toddlers and that sort of thing to push around. It's that change there that I think really nails it. Nails it. It's really funny. I love it when that sort of happens. It's like when you're building something and you suddenly you just keep, and I think this is like my thing. You just like keep poking away at the thing that you're trying to build until it starts to get there. I mean, they're not great, and I'm sure very quickly someone will build a better stroller than this. But I put that there. I did a little bit of like twist the wheels around to make them all slightly look a little bit different, change the colours up, and like plop them down, and they look pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with those. And so they're just like, choose a stroller, take your kids out, put some the name of the park on them, that sort of thing. Did a little bit of like implied queuing system and things, and obviously they're not queuing to get into the park, unfortunately, and they're not queuing to get tickets, unfortunately. So, and actually, weirdly, those barriers, the ribbon barriers, although in Planet Zoo, they work as they've got collision and they stop guests. In Planet Coaster 2, for some reason, they don't. So guests will just walk right through them. I'm hoping that's actually a bug. Okay, so just to start us off, so before we do a little tour, I thought I would just show you very quickly, because the game is actually beautiful, and actually I think one of the things about the Taiga region is that it looks better than most of the others. I think the tropical one looks a bit saturated, for example, so I'm happy with this at the moment. Just a very quick little few tips that we might do actually as we go through these episodes is the very first thing, if you are new to Planet Coaster or Planet Zoo, the very first thing you should do, and I don't really know why it's the default, is press the T key as soon as you get in, and that will just change the way that the camera behaves, so that you can, when you're mousing around or you're turning around with your controller, it will stick in the same position and not do this weird thing where it like orbits round a specific point. I find it really weird. And if you are interested as well, just show you my settings. So I will briefly just show you what my graphic settings are in case you are interested. So I've got a pretty beefy PC. I've got a 4090 graphics card. So, but hopefully you'll be able to use these sorts of settings. It's a brand new game. Hopefully, if you've got a decent enough PC, and check the minimum settings and things. But I've got anti-aliasing. I've found that actually this is the best option for me. I've tried the DLSS option, but it tends to get a bit blurry. I find it slightly blurry in the distance. So pause on those settings if you want to. I'm playing mine on 1440p. Turn off the VSync as ever, and I definitely turn off motion blur and depth of field. I find that they actually gave me a headache when I started playing for the first time. If you're interested in that, or if you are watching and you have a better set of settings that you think I should give a try, then drop me a comment. Right, so we're going to do a little walk around. So I'm gonna switch into first person camera mode. So you can click on that little icon and left click on the screen. And if you don't know this one as well, this is the last of the tips I will do. If you hold right control, right shift, and you press G, you will hide the HUD. So this is what we've got so far. As I said, there's no there's no car park. They're basically just spawning over there somewhere. There is a little bit of weird kind of tearing textures going on along this path here, where I can see some of that, where I've pushed the terrain down, needs to be smoothed out. But generally speaking, this is okay for a start. I will go back and probably do more with this, as is my way of tinkering, and I will always be tinkering. So we have a little bit of a walk up here, a nice big wide opening, and you get a bit of a sort of reveal of the entrance building as you come round, which I think is really cool. I'm seeing all these floating plants next to me, which are making my neck itch, but I will fix them at some point. And so then we have this walk up to the main entrance building, and there is the sort of custom sign that I created, so just with the Pomola word mark, and then that kind of roundel around it, and then a bit of a track behind it and things. Just trying to kind of create something that had a bit of a like combination of both the water and the roller coasters in there. I've got a few lights and things dotted around. All this sign work actually is really cool. Like a lot of the signs that you get. We don't have custom billboards at the moment, but Frontier have confirmed that they will be coming at some point, so don't despair over that. So we have two little kind of routing options for guests. So this red sign means that you're shortcutting straight to the ticket barriers over there, or the entrance barriers. Or if you are not a ticket holder, then you come through the queuing system. As I said, this is all implied because if I was to turn the game on and open the park, the guests would just come sailing through there, hooning through without any regard for the barrier. It would be cool at some point if Frontier will fix these barriers up and make them have collision. So yeah, I think it looks really cool. Like, I mean, as I said, like a lot of that, the stone texture is all from, I think from the Viking pack. It's just, again, it's a demonstration of like how you can use the themes to, I don't know, it's a big hole in a pillar over there, but how you can use the themes to really like do much more than would be suggested in the theme. There's nothing about this Viking under here, although I suppose it's got a little bit of Viking-y feel to it. So then we have the ticket windows. So I've got 2 open and 3 closed, basically because I've got the shop in there. So that's guest services shop in there, and it's too wide. You can't overlap the shops, so it forces you to do that. But I think they're pretty cool. A bit of a sort of walk up. And then we've got a little toilet here because anyone that knows that that has been to a theme park or a zoo before knows that people need to go to the toilet, and when they're standing in the queue they need to go to the toilet, or if you've got kids that have just got out of a car for a long drive, they need to go to the toilet. So there you go. One of the really, really cool additions, if you haven't found this yet and you are either new to the game or just checking out a video before you buy it, is that they really have like changed the way that text works now. So that piece of text that says back soon on there is not like on a sign like that one. It is completely free floating, so I can place that on anything I want to, and I can, as you can see from that, make it really small. Not sure why my cursor keeps appearing and disappearing. Sorry about that, guys. So she's there to simulate our guests walking up. I think the guests probably do walk up to this window, but as I said, they don't walk up to it to buy tickets. And then here are my strollers. I think they turned out all right. They're not perfect. The wheels are a bit chunky. I might see if I can find a thing that I can use to make a smaller wheel. If you didn't see that from the speed build, then that is one of the little like spotlight pieces that I've scaled down and duplicated over a few times. It would be cool if you could use the cogs, but the cogs don't get small enough. And then some plants around, some lighting and things. I'll show you at some point in the night if you have any idea. And that's basically it. Like that's it. There's the barriers on in through to the park. We do actually have, I think we've got a staff building in here. Yeah, I didn't notice this, but I noticed this the other day that obviously I think a few people have mentioned that staff buildings unfortunately are all just black boxes like they were in Planet Coaster 1 and not like in Planet Zoo. But the staff, or when they go on their break, will just go and stand in there in the black box in the darkness. It's a bit weird. So yeah, there we are, peeps. Hope you enjoyed that one. Hope you're looking forward to more to come from Pomola. My name is Toes. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.